Yo, what's going on, guys? Versal here, and today I'll be doing another dinosaur deck profile for going second. And this one's going to be a budget-friendly build, since I know the version that I personally play is not very budget-friendly at all. So this is going to be for the majority of dinosaur players out there, because I know a lot of you guys don't have like all the expensive cards, which is very understandable. So this deck for the main extra inside is around 100 bucks. And a large portion of that is in like 7 cards, so it's pretty good. It's mostly just staple stuff like the Dino core is so cheap, but it's a 40 card deck. You want to go second with it. Before I get into the list, if you haven't subbed the channel already, definitely do that now. Drop a like, comment, all that good stuff. It all helps me out. And if you're interested in this dinosaur playmat or these sleeves, check out finalsaga.de. And if you decide to buy anything, use my code reversal10 for 10% off your order. Anything you buy helps support the channel directly, so definitely check them out. We got a lot of cool stuff over there. But yeah, I'll just get right into the deck since it's pretty like cookie cutter. We got the 1 Misc, unfortunately. 3 Ovi, 2 Archosaur. You could cut this down to 1 if you want, but I know a lot of people just like it at 2 because it's safer, so just keep it at 2 for this. But you could definitely experiment with 1 and just learn to play with it at 1. It's really not as bad as you would think. 3 Baby, 1 Petite. You don't want too many of these going second. Since you're drawing an extra card, you don't want to clog in them, so it's the right ratio for going second in my opinion. The Kaito, this could be Rex. They don't really make too much of a difference, but this one can attack directly, so it's been a little better for me lately. 2 UCT, and playing the Dino stuff just for Lars basically, and then sometimes you can make like a Chengding occasionally, but it's mainly just for Lars, so you can just go into like the Dolka Lars conductor board if you choose to go first, or if you get made to go first ever. But mainly it's just when you're pushing going second, you can make the Dolka to check nib and then make the Lars to kind of help check back row. So it's just like the safest way to play, so you don't just auto lose to a nib if you're going into like non-dinos in the extra deck. And then you got 1 Pink. I don't think this card's very good right now, to be honest, but since playing Lost World, just playing the 1. But as a board breaker, I don't think it's great right now, personally. And the 1 Doggerin. Similar reason, it's good with Lost World, and I think Kaijus are just decent in general right now, since there's a lot more focus on singular boss monsters. Like you face Malice, you can hit the turrets. Face Rhizio, you can hit Detonator. Stuff like that. That's it for the monsters. Dino spells, we got 3 Lost World. This card's good for consistency more than anything. The targeting protection is really nice if you can get this card to stick with the token, but the problem with it is stuff like Detonator and like Malice can banish your stuff as well, so it can be a little hard to get this card to stick sometimes. But worst case, at least it's baiting out a monster disruption, so it can turn on your tactics cards. But if it does stick, and then you can use it to either beat over in battle phase, or you can pank pop the token, play that way. It just helps you play through hand traps a lot. So I think going second in like a more pure Dino build, you should still be playing this card. I got 3 Fossil Dig, as always, 2 Pill, and the 1 Ground Xeno. I think it's good to have at least one of these, but I don't love it going second, but it is nice to have just as another thrust target. And then it's just another extender, but you never want to see multiples of this, so I just like it at 1 in going second lists. Now for the non-engine, this is like engine 2, but the Prosperity, you still gotta play this. Then I'm playing 3 Thrusts, 1 Talents. The Thrusts are just more consistency. It can get you a board breaker, could get you Fossil Dig, could get you Ground Xeno. So something that Dino struggles with more than anything is consistency. So when you go second, you get the extra 6 guard for turn, which helps a lot. And then you're playing stuff like Lost World Thrusts, which can help you for consistency purposes and playing through hand traps. So I think these are good to play. You could potentially just play 2 because sometimes it can be cloggy at 3, but it's a really good card. It's more targets. We got the Duster and then Storms. I think these are really good right now. I was saying back row is pretty impactful. And then with Storms, sometimes hitting monsters can be good. So I think playing all 3 of these is good. Then I think this is the best board breaker, in my opinion. Ultimate Slayer. It just has the best coverage versus Malice and Ryzeal, as opposed to the next breaker I'm playing, which is 2 Book of Eclipse. This one's good against Ryzeal and Fiendsmith Ryzeal, but it's really bad against Malice going second, so that's why I'm only playing 2 of it. But still decided to put it in just because it's a card that if you get made to go first game 1, which isn't too likely, but it can happen, and then post side, you just want to have a decent amount of cards that can be used if you get sent to go first, or if you choose to go first for some reason. So yeah, I just want to play 2, and then for the last one I just did 1 Imperm. Just because it's a decent card in general, and you just want a trap that you can set off the thrust if you do get sent first. So that's the reason behind this, and it's just like a board breaker too. In addition to a hand trap, you could make space for more of these, but I decided to just put 1 in. But yeah, that's it for the main. I think these are just like the best breakers right now, for the most part. For the extra deck, 1 Anima, SP, Reaperdocus. This is for the Lars combo. Dolka, Lagia, usual. Lars, Dweller, score's really good. Check like Fiendsmith and stuff like that. These are like the more mandatory stuff, in my opinion. And then Pentastag and Dugaras. You don't have to play these, but they're pretty decent. Then additionally, Unicorn Access Code. Same thing as these, they're just nice to have, and you have a pretty flexible extra deck, so these are all like something you can mess around with. And then for like Slayer targets, Chenging, it's not like a Slayer target per se, but it's just a synchro that you can naturally make in the deck, and then if you need to use Slayer to out like a Chaos Angel, for example, you have this as a target to send, so it's good for that. Aggregator, this is the best Slayer target by far in the format. So you can hit the detonator, send it back, and then use this to negate something else, whether it's a Caesar or the Cross, whatever. It's really good. And then the Tri-Brigade, Link 5, to send with a link, which lets you send the Garura to get an extra draw. And then if you do happen to face something where there's fusion that you need to send, you just send the Garura and get an extra draw. So I think these 2 are really good. I don't think you need Entis because there's really not fusions that are getting ended on, besides Desiree, which you can't target anyways, so I think this is just fine. Some other stuff you could play, if you find space for it, is like Nightmare Phoenix. You could play Alan Mirage and Secure Gardener to help get your pills live in weird hands, but since you have Slayer that can send like these cards to get an on-Dino engrave, I don't think that's really necessary. Now for the side deck, I'm playing 3 Phantasme. This is like the Mulch Army at home. It's pretty good against Malice. It's good against Fiendsmith because you're getting the 2 draws when they put the Fiendsmith link up. And then you could potentially use this again on your opponent's turn when they Lacrima bring back the Requiem if you happen to draw 2 of these. So it just helps you sculpt your hand so you can play more effectively into boards. And then the targeting protection thing is pretty nice too. 3 Droll. This is just like a good card in addition to your board breakers to help slow down your opponent. And there's some decks where the breakers aren't as good into, so this can help deal with those type of decks, like Mermail, for example. 3 Lancia for Malice. I think these are nice to bring in versus Malice. Droll's okay if it's the striker build. It's not really that good into the Malice portion of the deck, but something that you can put in if you like don't have a better option, like because you're bringing out the Eclipses, stuff like that. 3 Droplet. This could be something else, but I feel like you need to respect Dweller at least with something. And then this is another card that you can put in when you go first, because you have 8 hard going second cards in the main deck. So you want to have some cards that you could put in for those sometimes if you think you might go first or if you want to go first. So you have Drolls for that, you have Droplets for that, and then I put in the third Eclipse just because it's like the best breaker against Ryzeal with the Slayers. So, and then it's just a card you can put in when you go first too, as well as Call By, and then a D barrier just as a thrust target. You don't need too many thrust targets, but a deck like if you face Tempai, which is still around, you want a thrust target, and then it's just good against other decks like Ryzeal as well. So I think it's fine to have, but you have these three, and then these two that can always come in going first for the most part. If you need to side out your hard going second cards. So I think it's just like a pretty basic side pattern, but you can really play whatever you want. It's just like some stuff to kind of go off, but I think this is a good baseline. Like I said, this whole deck, including this side, it's like $100, and a lot of that is these 3 droplets, the 3 thrusts, and the talents. I think these cards are all like around like $8 to $10 each, so that's the main bulk of the cost. But it's gonna be it for this video. I think if you're playing dinos at all, it should be going second right now, because the deck's really not that good going first since the ban list. And especially on a budget, I've always thought that Dino going second is way better, with the exception of when we had the Sinful build, which was really good on a budget. But yeah, try the deck if you're on a budget for sure, and even if you're not, you could make some changes to play some more expensive cards if you do have access to them. But yeah, it's gonna be it. Thanks for watching. Peace.